Imagine if AOC got to write history books and they said, why did people sneak into America? Oh, climate change.
Climate change is different because we have an expiration date.
20 years from now. Climate change was so bad that people were walking from Guatemala to get plane tickets to fly to Michigan.
We've got 12 years to turn it around. 12 years.
For real? Are you sure? You sure that happened? Maybe there's other variables? What do you think?
My concern is that we are going to be the frog in the pot of boiling water.
Hey guys, maybe some of the stops along the way, they only speak Chinese and they have Chinese signs. There's like a concerted effort to get people in from China. Hey, something going on? No, just climate change.
We are going to debate and debate and debate and debate. And then when we actually finally pass something, it is a wimpy carbon tax and our kids are doomed.
Oh, so simple. So nice to be able to just...
Bill Maher and Joe Rogan just joined forces and they didn't pull any punches. AOC ended up taking such a fierce verbal lashing it felt like part roast, part reality check. The whole thing kicked off when multiple outlets accused AOC of inventing significant parts of her backstory. That revelation didn't stay quiet for long. Once it landed in the Maher Rogan orbit, the commentary turned relentless. The jabs were clever, the criticism was relentless, and the mockery kept rolling without a pause.
You hear what AOC said?
He wanted to pick a fight with me, little me. He's going to lose that.
It's amazing.
Maybe don't send our country into war because you're in some type of mood.
It is straight out of South Park.
Gosh.
It's straight out of South Park.
Congress was supposed to have a classified briefing today, and they canceled it last minute.
Like what?
Yeah, I know.
It's giving scrambling. It's giving disorganized. It's giving they are having problems behind the scenes.
Do you know something I don't know?
Please understand that this is Trump's war. This is a Republican war. Don't let them...
Like, what do you...
Here's where it gets especially interesting. Not long ago, Joe Rogan actually had a soft spot for AOC. Back then, he applauded her fiery speeches and even called her courageous for stepping into Congress so young. For a while, he saw her as a refreshing force in Washington, someone who stood out in a crowd of recycled talking points. But oh, how quickly things change. Today, Rogan doesn't even pretend to take her seriously. He treats her more like a bad improv actor stumbling through forgotten lines. No more compliments, no more goodwill, just raw, amused disbelief every time she talks. And Maher? He's even more scathing, methodical, and precise. Together, they've turned AOC into a running punchline. When she first burst onto the scene, Rogan practically cheered her on. She seemed like the breakout star, young, fearless, ready to challenge the system. But as soon as the carefully packaged image started to crumble, people began to notice. Her speeches felt rehearsed, her charisma looked manufactured, and Rogan caught on immediately. Admiration turned to outright ridicule.
Did you see the video of when she found out she won?
It's amazing. Play it.
I'm gonna grab her. She's right here. I can't let you go.
It's like one of the realest moments. And look, people are angry. 28-year-olds, what the f does she know? What she doesn't know, she'll learn. Maybe she knows a lot. I like the fact she wasn't supposed to win. I like the fact that the guy who was an incumbent was a 10-term incumbent.
Yeah.
And that he spent 10-1 versus on her. How much money she spent? 10-1.
And grassroots got her elected, man. And that can happen.
Dude, she's a kid.
Yeah, that's...
And she's pretty. She's a pretty young 20...
Now, instead of applauding her passion, he tears apart her reasoning and does it with a smirk. He doesn't see a visionary anymore. He sees an influencer cosplaying as a policymaker, churning out viral clips instead of serious ideas. Rogan's takedowns have been merciless. Whether on his podcast or in interviews, he's been sharper, funnier, and far less forgiving. He's got receipts, and he's eager to use them. Just look at this compilation. AOC spouting claims so exaggerated you'd think it was a sketch, like the infamous declaration that we could fully stop climate change in exactly 12 years, as if Congress could just pass a resolution and hit the off switch on the planet's thermostat. Never mind the complexity of global economics or energy infrastructure. She slapped an expiration date on an entire crisis. And then there's her argument that most migration stems purely from the weather, ignoring war, poverty, and corruption. Back in 2018, people gave her a pass. She was new, idealistic, trying to figure it out. But 5 years later, repeating the same shallow talking points? That's not inexperience anymore. It's willful ignorance. And everyone's done pretending it's profound.
Imagine if AOC got to write history books and they said, why did people sneak into America? Oh, climate change.
Climate change is different because we have an expiration date.
20 years from now. Climate change was so bad that people were walking from Guatemala to get plane tickets to fly to Michigan.
We've got 12 years to turn it around.
Yeah.
12 years.
For real? Are you sure? Are you sure that happened? Maybe there's other variables? What do you think?
My concern is that we are going to be the frog in the pot of boiling water.
Hey guys, maybe some of the stops along the way, they only speak Chinese and they have Chinese signs. There's like a concerted effort to get people in from China. Hey, something going on? No, just climate change.
We are going to debate and debate and debate and debate. And then when we actually finally pass something, it is a wimpy carbon tax and our kids are doomed.
Oh, so simple. So nice to be able to just...
At this point, there's no excuse. It's not idealistic naivety. It's flat-out cluelessness. You can't sit in Congress for half a decade and keep tossing out shallow slogans on global issues like you're at an open mic night. It shows an alarming refusal to learn, to research, or even to pause and ask, does any of this hold up? Instead of reflecting, AOC just dials up the emotion, hoping that tears and theatrical delivery will distract from the empty logic. But that playbook doesn't work anymore. Watch the full interview. I did. There's a moment she confidently claims to be an expert on the topic. Then, as soon as the real questions hit, she collapses under pressure faster than a folding chair. That's the AOC routine. Loud and self-assured when it's about Trump, but the second it shifts to serious policy, it's awkward pauses and nervous deflections. She thrives in echo chambers where everyone nods along. But the moment she's challenged, the swagger disappears. The big statements dissolve into vague generalities. It's always the same. High drama, low substance.
One of my favorite interviews was when AOC was talking to that lady and she asked her to expand.
About Israel-Palestine?
Oh
yeah.
my God.
You used the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
She just collapsed into herself?
It's literally like a fifth grader that didn't study.
Yes.
And then they ask you about the subject, or you didn't read the book. And then, it's about Billy and his dog and a really good relationship, these dogs.
But the crazy
Do you
thing...
think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue, you know.
What you're witnessing is performance politics at its peak. Big gestures, teary eyes, dramatic monologues. No substance. And because the media rarely presses her with real questions, that showmanship gets a free pass. So what are we left with? A lawmaker who sounds compelling in sound bites, but folds when it matters. That's why Bill Maher finally jumped in. He's been watching, and he's unimpressed. He joked that Democrats would probably defend literal aliens if they landed and caused chaos, as long as it fit the compassion narrative. And honestly, it doesn't sound that far-fetched. The border's wide open. The fallout is hammering real communities. Meanwhile, AOC acts offended that anyone even wants to discuss it. Fentanyl is flooding the streets. Human trafficking is exploding. Families are in crisis. Cops are overwhelmed. And who's out front defending the mess? The Democrats. Center stage, as always, is AOC spinning fairy tales while ordinary Americans bear the cost. Maher wasn't exaggerating when he said Democrats would probably invite Martians on CNN to explain why they deserve free housing and voting rights. This isn't about solving problems anymore. It's all theater. And in this theater, reality gets booed off stage so ideology can hog the spotlight. Common sense? Tossed in the trash. Need proof?
Giant robotic tripods could be vaporizing New Jersey. Democrats would point out how the death lasers were disproportionately affecting low-income communities and people of color, and AOC would tweet, "Stop demonizing the Martian X community."
Once again, AOC stumbles through criticizing a major bill, only to get schooled by Mike Lawler on live TV. It wasn't even a real debate. It was a one-sided correction. She clearly hadn't read the legislation, hadn't studied the details, and had no idea what she was attacking. That's the pattern. Charging into complex issues half-informed, fueled by outrage but starved of facts. That bill she trashed? It was designed to help working families with a sweeping tax cut and financial relief for the middle class. Instead of grasping the policy, she dismissed it outright because it clashed with her script. And that's the problem. The performance comes first. The facts never catch up. Rather than present a nuanced argument, she ran with a made-up narrative that the bill punished low-income Americans and showered the rich with tax breaks. It was pure fiction, and she didn't stop there. She keeps leaning on that tired Bronx girl persona as if it's the core of her brand. But official records, yearbooks, and school enrollment all show she grew up mostly in Yorktown Heights, one of Westchester's safest, most affluent suburbs. That gritty storyline? It's as curated as her Instagram.